Okay, it is time for the Divine Masculine reading. This is going to cover the end of January through the second full moon of January into the first week of February. And I apologize for it taking so long for these cards to come out. I've been sick and I am so glad that I have a voice. The second I had a voice, the first thing I wanted to do was pull cards. So here we are, and we're going to get started. We will not dilly-dally. Let's go ahead and take a look at the cards for the Divine Masculine. And first, I do want to say that these cards are The Goddess Tarot by Chris Walder. And I've also chosen two cards from Doreen Virtue's Ascended Master deck. And the spread we're using is something that I use. That's the Divine Feminine. The Divine Feminine funnel, I call it, kind of like what's going into it. And then the two cards that I have at the bottom is, on the left, this is the Doreen Virtue's card. The one on the left is the one that is, where are they right now, the Divine Masculine right now, and where are they headed to? All right, so the first card that we have for the Divine Masculine is the Two of Pentacles. Coming right out of the gate with this card says to me that the Divine Masculine is finally starting to come out into their expression of some of the changes that they've been making. They are getting more able to juggle different things at once. And if you look at, I love the way those two pentacles have the infinity sign. The infinity sign. It's the juggling back and forth between, things of the earthly world and things of the spiritual world, which is kind of an indication that they're starting to get the balance between the masculine, feminine energies and those of the material world with those of their spiritual selves. And this is going to mean for them expansion. And not just expansion in their relationships, but expansion in what they do for a living. So it's interesting because in this book here that comes with the cards, I noticed something that jumped out at me. It says representing the twin forces of change and movement. So we are talking about the contrast between, the one and the other with that infinity sign, but it's how they're tied together through the repetition of the back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. This can mean new job opportunities, new ideas, new ventures, and I think it's a pretty good card to start the reading. And that follows right along with our second card, which is the Queen of Pentacles. All right, and again, this card is talking about creating prosperity, creating harmony. All right, it's the physical manifestation of what they're working on. Okay, so we're talking about home, we're talking about work, we're talking about love, we're talking about prosperity, affection, all of those things that come with the attainment of a certain level, which is that Queen of Pentacles. So it's fertility. It's something new is happening, something good is happening to them. And it's amazing how those two pentacles are so strongly representative of that energy. Okay, then we look at the third card, which is at this top row, right? This is the what is like sort of heading up everything. And we've got the Ace of Staves, which is about growth. All right, it's about growth, but a word that I know Divine Feminine is going to be interested in, action. All right, and we talk about here's the single stave sitting there in the brilliant sunshine, and all these new leaves are coming from this stick, this twig, this I want to say trunk, if you will, the trunk as it's starting to emerge. All right. It's really revealing the vigorous growth that this, individual's making. All right. It's surging growth from the depths of the earth and pushing right up on through that. So it is also a very symbolic of the Divine Feminine's life force that's inspiring the Divine Masculine to grow, to rise up, to consider new possibilities for action, to consider new opportunities for growth. I think that, you know, there's a great deal of energy that's flowing right now in the Divine Feminine, and I think it is very much impacting the Divine Masculine, whether or not they are in touch with each other on a physical basis. The two have come aligned with their energy enough, and that masculine is feeling the surging forth of the Divine Feminine energy, and they're actually starting to, you know, align themselves with that, and it's hard to not be affected by it. So this also means that it's the beginning of a new creative period. So look at those 3 cards going right across the top, which pretty much indicates that they are moving in the direction of maybe manifesting and creating and surging forth into this growth area, into this new beginning. It's inspiration, which inspires action, which makes them want to move forward. So I don't think we could come up with 3 better cards for the Divine Masculine than the ones we're looking at here. And then at our next level, we have the Prince of Swords. And the Prince of Swords is the communication, all right? It's the, I know what I want to say. I don't have any confusion about it. There's no ambivalence in my words. I'm a messenger bringing very crucial information. So this is about the articulation of the Divine Masculine and where they stand in this process with their Divine Feminine. All right. So they're starting to have a need to express for a variety of reasons, actually. I mean, there can be all kinds of reasons why they want to express. Sometimes it's just to make sure that they're not losing the Divine Feminine, but other times it's because they're so excited about messages that they've started to receive within themselves, and they find this need to reach out and compare notes or confirm some of the things that they've been told before, either by the Divine Feminine or just their inner inspiration. It also, you know, for some, it's going to be receiving news or communications, often in writing, which gives them information that they need. All right. It's something that helps them bring understanding within themselves to a current situation that they're going through. So very interesting that the articulation is something that is coming up very strongly for the Divine Masculine at this time. Well, would you look at the card that is right next to that, which is the Four of Swords? Interestingly enough, that card is representative of meditation and introspection, or a period of time of healing. So I get the impression that the Divine Masculine is kind of, and it might be that some of the Divine Feminine or Divine Masculine are in one space and some are in the other. Maybe while some are really ready to express and move forward, on the other hand, there are some that are still in an introspective state. They're investigating how they feel. They're moving into spaces where they've given themselves the room that they need to breathe, maybe even from their own, I want to say their own soulmate relationships or their own, work situations or whatever it might be. They've given themselves some space so that they can intuit how they feel about certain things. But it doesn't necessarily have to be one or the other. There are those that are really in the state of exploring their inner deep realm, and they are in the process of articulating to themselves where they feel they stand. So that could be, part and parcel to, both sides of the coin, or they can be doing both at the same time. Now, the other thing that we could be looking at with the Four of Swords, and I know from, my own personal experience, is it may be that the Divine Masculine is taking a break from the worldly situations for a good reason, like being sick, all right? Recuperating from illness, taking a break from stressful situations. And as they're doing this, what is happening is that they're kind of being forced through boredom or through not being able to stay busy. They have stuff weighing on their minds. Maybe they've stopped and they're a little bit more tuned in to the energy of their divine feminine. So it's really, the universe works really well in this whole dynamic to, help heal the situations that each the divine feminine and masculine experience in order to get them into more equilibrium of where they stand within their own situations. So I think that that's a really good card. That divine masculine needs rest because so much is starting to happen from implementing, new shifts and changes. It could be even that the physical body wants to rebel and react to, oh my gosh, we're going to surge forward here. And maybe the egoic part of the body or the embedded stuff that needs to come up for clearing starts going, oh my God. And then there's a reason for that need to slow down, put some thought into things, and really allow what needs to come forward to come forward. But at the root of this reading is the Princess of Staves, okay? And this is a really good indicator of where this is all headed, all right? The Princess of Staves is about passion, all right? It's about integrity, living in one's truth, and putting that truth into action. So as they're seeing this change for all these new exciting things that are coming, and they're breaking away from the old, and they're starting to want to create new things and new realms, and they're having an opportunity to slow down and really take a look at things, the things that fuels everything is passion. And what are they passionate about? Well, at the core of their essence, they're passionate about this reconnection that they are having with themselves. Now, whether that is directed at the divine feminine because they're prepared to see that, or whether they are just starting to reconnect with themselves and starting to enjoy that connection, either way, it doesn't matter because the two are one, whether it's at a conscious level or not. But that is really the fundamental thing, is when the divine masculine starts to understand that they must live in accordance with their heart. They must live within the integrity of the truth that is in their hearts. It becomes more and more and more difficult to reconcile not living in their truth and wanting to be who they are and wanting to follow the passion and all this promise of a new beginning, of new starts from a very strong, abundant, balanced way. So they're having a hard time if they are resisting, or if they are one of the quote unquote fighters, all right, then that is what's becoming apparent to them. Because the thing is even those fighters are passionate. They're passionate against coming into a union, or they're passionate for coming into a union, or they're passionate about what they do. All right, the passion is starting to rise in that divine masculine. When masculine is motivated into action, all right, they must move forward. They can't stay still. They try, but they can't help it. So this is a really super great card. And what's interesting is, as I was looking at my, guide here, and one of the things is it says new ideas or ventures that must be acted upon immediately. So what I'm getting from that is that there are many divine masculine who are going to be in a position where they suddenly feel called to, oh my God, I better go get her before she's gone. And I've seen that happening all around me, firsthand experience. And I'm not really sure what is motivating them and where it's coming from. In some cases, I think the divine feminine is actually saying, you know what, I'm done, that kind of thing. But not even that. I think it's the lens through which they're seeing the situation. So they're starting to say, haven't heard from her in a while, or I haven't talked to her in a while, or I wonder if she's forgotten me, those kinds of things, because the divine feminine is really strong right now. She's really strong in her own knowing and her own power. That's heavily, heavily affecting the divine masculine at this time. What I love here is that when we look up at the outcome card, what we have is in complete alignment with everything else that has been brought forth in this reading. And that is the Two of Staves, which is symbolic of new ventures, partnerships, new ideas. All right. So this woman is looking out, she's looking over the field of possibilities. And this card has been coming up a lot over the last month in my readings. All right. And you see that there's this, this stave that's on the other side of the wall. And I almost think that that kind of represents, once we get over this last hurdle, then both staves will be on the same side of the fence. Okay. That is a symbolism for the partnership potentials that are sitting right there, that are inevitable by the energies that are moving forward in this reading. And the card is, characterized by partnerships, okay? Very dynamic partnerships, forward movement, new ideas, transforming lives, making a real difference. And also here comes the word action, getting ready to put all of this in action. So there is such forward momentum. All right, very much forward momentum in terms of the outcome card for the next, I would say, roughly 2 weeks. The way I do my readings, I don't do like a lot of people do. I don't pick out time periods. I literally do them as I feel the energies need to be communicated. So I see shifts happening and I see it system-wide and I say, okay, let's go see what the blanket overall lying theme is for the collective, for the system-wide. And this isn't just for twin flames or twin souls. This is for all sacred partnership, the new relationships forming. So this is what I'm getting for the divine masculine. But let's take a look at the two cards that are sitting at the bottom, which are the the Ascended Master cards. And the first one on the left is coming out of the closet, Amaterasu. All right. Now, isn't this perfect? What is the divine masculine doing? It's not necessarily that they're getting up on a big pedestal with a bullhorn in hand, shouting to the entire world what their truth is. Okay, it's not that. They're starting to put pieces together that is making them understand where they fit in with sacred partnerships, what means something to them. They're taking their own view of what this connection is or what kind of connection they wish to have. They're taking it out of the closet and they're taking a look at it. I almost want to say they're taking their head out of the sand, like they've been the ostriches to some extent. Many of the divine masculine, that is not all, many of the divine masculine, and I'm talking system-wide, have had their head in the sand because they don't like change. And they have a lot of programs that tell them how things really should stay, how they should be. Unfortunately, the divine feminine is really wrecking their plans because all of them, whether they're their soulmates or whether they're their sacred partners or whether they're their twin flames or whoever they are, they're making all these changes. And the divine masculine, what are they doing? They're having to react to and deal with the outfall, the falling out, or the what do you want to say, the result of these shifts and changes that the divine feminine is insistent upon making. There's no way this divine feminine is going back in the closet. Okay, she just isn't going there. So the divine masculine really doesn't have any choice except to start to come out of the closet himself. Because, as much as they wish to hold on to the past, when their soulmate or the person that they're in a relationship with starts to show that they have started to break away from the connection because they too are finding alignment with another that is more in vibration with them, what is that divine masculine going to do but say, oh, wow, okay, I guess I really have to do something now. They can't not change. All right. So, that's that. But where is this all leading to? Positive change. All right. This is all going to be a positive change in the next couple of weeks. And I think even further on into that, I mean, all of this is about positive change, where we're heading, right? I mean, of course, when you give up the codependencies, when you give up the old programs that tell you what you need to be and who you need to be that with, and what is acceptable and what isn't acceptable, and all of the programming that the Divine Masculine has been under the influences of the current, or I would say this swiftly changing Earth management system, I'll just put it that way, what you have is definite positive change. And I think that this is an extremely good reading for the Divine Masculine. It shows, you know, they're not stuck anymore. And Divine Feminine, you need to understand that. I mean, don't judge the situation just on the surface. Remember that you may be looking at your situation through a filter. You know, it's not uncommon for the Divine Feminine to keep the Divine Masculine at bay by holding concepts and ideas which literally put them out of reach and keep them out of reach. So I would say for the Divine Masculines, you know, just keep going, allow all of these new wonderful opportunities, and, you know, take the time that you need to go in the introspection. If you haven't done meditation, you might want to try meditation. If you have a hankering to try something new, to try new things on for size, I'd say that's a great idea. And Divine Feminine, you know, with relation to this, you know, the best thing that you can do is hold your light and do what you're doing, you know, keep moving forward. And I want to say another note on that. Make sure that you continue to check in with the little things that you are, you know, maybe not diving into deeper because you're in wait mode, or you think you're in I've gotten there mode. I know that personally, you know, I've been discovering deepness, you know, some deepness of some things that need to be worked on and cleared out. And it's a perfect time for the Divine Feminine to do that, while the Divine Masculine is literally doing all of this work to manifest the new energy. And I say their Divine Masculine presence, loving leadership, creative manifestation, loving presence on the planet. So anyways, there you go. That is the Divine Masculine reading for the end of January through the beginning of February. My name is Debbie DuBois. I am TrueSacredUnion.com. And all of my information is below if you wish to follow me on Facebook or YouTube, or go visit my website. I do a lot of articles, I do sessions, I do readings, and I'm a web designer by trade. So I kind of got a whole bunch of stuff going on, and I absolutely love doing this work. So I hope you have a wonderful, blessed day. Namaste.